It's the Subway NFL postgame show, and for the third consecutive week, the Giants allowed a touchdown on the opening drive. It didn't matter because the defense shut down the Eagles the rest of the game, and New York goes into Philly and gets the win 16-13, and in the process, most likely closes out the Eagles for any playoff hopes whatsoever, and also in the process, almost guarantees the fifth spot in the NFC come playoff time. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, NFL.com's Pat Kerwin.
Hey, Jason.
Glad to be with you on CBSSports.com. And Pat, when you look at this New York Giants team, week in, week out, everyone says Eli Manning's not playing well. They're winning despite Eli Manning. But week in, week out, they're winning. And I know they're just 2-2 the last four.
That's right.
But they're 9-4 overall.
They are 9-4, and I think they're like the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC. They're locking down that 5 spot for the playoffs. Their conference record is better. They're going to do a fine job, and they're going to get to the playoffs. So let's get over that. Here's what I love about this football team. As Jason said, they get scored on in the first drive, but you watch that sideline. Now the head coach he's unraveling a little bit, and he's emotional, but the quarterback isn't. He's steady, calm, cool, collected. He made a really bad throw today on a fade route to Jeremy Shockey, and he looked at Jeremy and said, hey, that's on me. He's taken a lot on his shoulders that doesn't get recognized all the time. But because he handles his football team that way, you don't see a lot of panic from the New York Giants.
No, you really don't. And the other thing you see from this team is that this defense is stout defensively.
Yes.
They gave up a lot of yards. Let's make it clear also, David Akers had a chance to tie this game with a 57-yard field goal as time expired. And it was long enough, it hit the crossbar, and so the game obviously did not go to overtime. But you can't count on a 57-yard field goal for anything, so let's throw that out the window. This defense, through the second and third quarter, didn't give up anything to the Eagles, and part of that's because Philadelphia went away from Brian Westbrook.
Yeah, two things. Well, they got away from Westbrook. They got back to Westbrook. Westbrook finishes the day with his regular season average. He has 25 touches. He's been averaging 24. We talked about it in the show leading up to this game. Over 150 yards and a touchdown. So you know Westbrook's getting his fair dose of it. Where the thing fell apart for Philadelphia was the pressure you talked about. Here comes the giant pass pressure, and all we saw was McNabb running for his life and throwing checkdowns. At one point, I turned to you, Jason, and said, have you seen a ball thrown over 20 yards yet? No, it wasn't. That meant the coverage was good early, and then to escape and buy himself some time, he was hitting little checkdowns, and they never really could advance the ball enough. Conversely, the Giants don't have a lot of speed on offense right now. Plaxico Burress, we saw it, limping down the football field. What a courageous effort by him. And Amani Toomer can't really run anymore. So this whole Giant offense, what they need right now is an injection of speed. They need a guy like Steve Smith back as soon as possible.
Or Sonoris Moss to do something on the field.
He's got to catch the ball.
Well, that's first. But Plaxico Burress, you said it right. The word there is courageous because he's been playing hurt all season long, and he had the game-winning touchdown. And on top of it, he made play after play that got Eli Manning and bailed him out time and time again. We know where the Giants are going. They're going to the playoffs. We'll see who they're playing. That's to be determined whether it'll be Tampa Bay or whether it'll be Seattle. We'll see how that works out. Eagles, 5-8 now this season for the most part, unless all the chips fall. It's done. They're not going to the playoffs unless everything fell into place here.
Gone.
Where do they go for next season? Is Donovan McNabb back in Philadelphia?
Well, I think they'll take a hard look at that. You got to ask yourself what your alternatives are. Now, I thought A.J. Feely last week basically declared that he's not the starter and shouldn't be the starter. He throws 3 interceptions to Lofa Tubu. So if you're going to dismiss Donovan from the formula and send him off in a trade somewhere, you got to ask yourself, who's the guy? I don't see the quarterback. I know they have a draft pick, but you are talking about putting him on the field and basically getting through 2008 before you get excited again, 2009. I don't know that they're prepared to do that.
You'd be saying Kevin Kolb is your starting quarterback for next season, and he has not played this season. That's tough to do. Right. Philly's 5-8. The Giants are 9-4. We'll see how it all unfolds as the next few weeks play out. But Andy Reid's team is about to miss the playoffs for the second time in 3 years. That for more on this game, folks, or any other in Week 14. Be sure to stay with CBSSports.com and watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. For NFL.com's Pat Kerwin, I'm Jason Horowitz. Woohoo! Take care.